I guess Cashman was saying thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. That's very nice. I heard him, but I didn't know what he was talking about. I just walked in the room. We'll hear Cash in a minute here from the winter meetings as the Yankees are adding just the guy who hit a couple of home runs last year. I mean, just a few. Dave and Selden. What's up, Dave?
Hey, Mike. What's happening?
What's up?
Just on some of my conversations with friends being a Yankee fan, I think I'm in the minority, but I'm a guy against Stanton. I'll tell you why. I like the way the team is constructed, some smart trades, getting guys like Castro and Didi, some younger guys through the system with Judge and Sanchez and Bird. I just don't think they filled a hole, filled a need, and it doesn't seem something out of necessity to pick this guy up. If you put this guy on the team last year, I don't think that they really improved one iota, but if they had a top-notch pitcher, man, they were right on the doorstep, in my opinion, of really, making a splash. I just don't see how this guy really, really helps them as far as filling a hole for the team. What do you think about that?
Well, he doesn't fill a hole, but see, it's an area of excess, but, you are adding a premier run producer. The game is runs. You cannot say, listen, there's a lot of things I don't like about it, but you cannot say that he does not, improve the team. He clearly improves the team. I mean, because anybody of that stature would improve the team immediately because he's just such an overpowering figure offensively. I mean, the guy is, listen, he produces runs and he produces them in droves. And when you do that, you're going to be better. But what it is going to do is it's going to change the team radically. First, it's going to, first question is, now remember, he's young. He's 28 years old. But remember this. Also, the Yankees are incredibly right-handed power-wise. Number two, it's going to change their outfield configuration. Somebody's moving to left field, either Stanton or Judge. One of them's going, unless one of them's going a full-time DH, which I don't expect at their ages, and that would also clog things up for Sanchez. He's going, one of them's going left field. I got to figure Stanton's going to play where he wants. If Stanton wants right field, he's going to get it. He's the senior partner of the two with Judge. Judge is going to be impacted. The lineup's going to be impacted. The way they play is going to be impacted. The way they operate and just the way the clubhouse feels is going to be impacted when you bring a star of that magnitude. This man had 59 home runs last year, knocked in 132 runs, had an OPS over 1. He's a big star. But again, in sports, more is not always more. There has to be a chemistry. There has to be a fit. John and Tom's River, what's up, John?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, what's happening?
Well, first of all, thanks for the whole 30 years. It's been great.
Thank you.
I hate this trade, I'll be honest with you. When I heard of this on Saturday night, I was talking to my friends. The Yankees got away from it. The Yankees did this for 15 years. They didn't win anything. During the whole 2000s, they bought and bought. It didn't work. They finally got back last couple of years to going with the homegrown young guys, not making much money yet. The core guys, that's how they win. Now look at they went to Game 7 last year. There's no need for this now. To go back, Cashman going back to the old days, to buying these big guys, that doesn't mean you can win. You always said, Mike, sometimes less is more.
Yep.
There's no reason for this. I don't get this move. It's going back to the Yankees where they did not. This doesn't make you that you can win. They got the Game 7, and there's no reason for this move. There's a bunch of outfielders.
It's a fair point. It is a fair point. It's going to be the minority opinion, but it is a fair point. Some people just want more and more stars, which I understand. But it is a fair point, and I railed against when they brought Giambi in. I railed against it. I thought it was a big mistake. Because I just felt that they were changing the fabric of what they were. And that was George who wanted the home run. He really did. And you know what happens. They changed. Now, this will help them get big again. It will help them sell tickets. It will help them. And they have struggled in that area. Do not think they haven't. Now, they got an upswing this year. And the Yankees really took off this year again. They took off in October. The Yankees had a buzz about them at the stadium, in the ratings, in the radio ratings, in the TV ratings in October that they haven't had in a very, very long time. And it took them all the way to this October to take off. Yes, the ratings went up during the season from last year, but they were way down. Now they got back up, and remember, the new stadium's been very quiet until this year when it rocked again. During the Houston series particularly, it rocked again. And, they changed things. But this now, This accelerates their maturity. Their maturity just accelerated dramatically. William in Harlem, what's up, William?
Hi, good afternoon, Mike. Thank you for all the years.
What's happening?
I love listening to you and your interviews and everything.
Thank you.
About this Stanton thing, he's 28 years old, 59 home runs, but they also forget, I think it's in about maybe 4 years, 5 years, he could probably also opt out if he has like 2 months, 2 years before his opt-out year.
Hey, listen,
So
that's always that can happen. You don't worry about that. You know, that's okay. I mean, that stuff. Listen, guys will come and go. You don't worry about that. You're worried about this year and performance and what you're going to do here. So, I mean, you don't worry about what's down the road. That's really not that important. The question you're going to answer right now is, what's the configuration of the outfield? How does it impact Ellsbury? You'd love to get rid of him. Can you get rid of him and get any money off the cap? Can you still get under the luxury tax, which is something that was an enormous strategy of the Yankees? And if they're going to still try to do that, how much does that impact their spending on pitching, which they clearly need? All things that are important. They're going to try and deal Ellsbury off to somebody. They're going to try and sweeten the pot to get somebody to take 50 cents on the dollar. That's going to be hard to do. I think they could trade Gardner. I think somebody will take Gardner. Gardner's worth getting on your team still. He's a good player. Dave in the Bronx, what's up, Dave?
Mike, how are you?
Good,
I'm
what's up?
ecstatic, Mike. I'm ecstatic. I don't understand how Yankees fans are against this trade because they got him for nothing, basically. But, Mike, I want to ask you, you said before there's a couple of things you don't like about the trade.
Absolutely.
Can you explain to me what you don't like about
first
it?
First of all, what's the outfield configuration next year?
True.
All right, that's number one. What happens to Gardner? Does he have a role? I don't think he can play center anymore, so that means Hicks plays center every day. Number two, if you don't think it can impact the team, when one guy in the lineup's making $295 and the other guy's making $1 million, and the guy, let's say who's $1 million, is having a better year, it can impact the team dramatically. A guy coming to a team, and especially a young team, making $295 million impacts the team. He absolutely does. And this is a team that hasn't won yet, and this is a team that was growing up a certain way. And what the Yankees had last year was one of the few times they almost had they were almost a little naive at times. They were almost a team that was just starting to learn, and they were a lovable Yankee team, which is very unusual. Yankees haven't had a lovable team in a very long time. They did in the 90s. They haven't in a very long time. And that's all gone now. Now they're the big, bad Yankees again. And some of those guys might not be ready for big, bad Yankees yet. And you're going to change a lot of things about the way this team operates. And Stanton is going to be out front and center. And because who he is. I mean, he's 28, he's established. And, so does he want that role? Does he want to be out front? Is he ready to lead Sanchez and Judge and all those guys? And how he does that is going to impact this team. There's no question. He's not going to sit in the background. Now, can anybody say, I gave up Castro plus nothing and I got, Stanton? No. I mean, and from a business standpoint, it's a grand slammer. It's going to help them from a business standpoint enormously because their big is always better, buzz is always better. You're going to have that. You're going to have that going away. People are going to run just to watch these guys take batting practice. We know that. But they'll be also, they become the big bad Yankees again. There'll be a lot of people be loving them to fail again because now they're the big bad. The Yankees just went from getting good again to now having excess again. And people love to hate them when they have excess. And now they have excess again. They've returned to the world of excess, which is what they do. Gives guys like Bob a chance to really dig in and hate him again. Now, look, they're the Yankees. They're on the verge with Sanchez and Judge. Not enough. They got to add Stanton. They got to add another $295 million. They got to do this. They got to do that. Now I can hate him again. He couldn't even hate last year's team. They were so likable. He couldn't even hate them. Now he can hate this team again. Now he can really dig in with his fangs and just go get them. And that's why it has changed. 2 o'clock. Here's Mr. Met.
That ball.